In this video, I will show you how I organize my life in Notion. It is my Notion LifeOS, Life Operating System. This video is the first in a long series explaining everything that I built and I have in Notion of the systems that I have. I'm taking a beginner's mindset, which means that I will show you how to build it yourself. I'll explain it as I go and I'll make it as beginner friendly as I possibly can. That also means even if you are a Notion veteran or maybe you're a Notion beginner, you will learn something, hopefully. Okay, my name is Christian. Today I'll give you a brief overview of how I use Notion, how I use my Notion systems and the pages that I have. This is a guide to how I'm keeping my life organized with Notion. Like I said, it's the start of a series. If something stands out to you today, make sure to subscribe because I will show you how to build it later in the series. There'll be something for everybody, so make sure you stick around until the end. And I highly encourage that if you see something you like, duplicate my template and tailor it to your needs. That is what I've done every time I found something that I liked. There's so many methodologies and inspiration inside of my template, inside of my system, and from other systems that I've found. And that's good because it's about finding what works, not what works for someone else. You want something that you'll actually use, something that's useful in your life. In this video, I will give you a brief overview of all of the systems that I use on a daily basis in my Notion, which is, first of all, my daily journal and my habit tracking. It's my task management system, it's my thought and ideas page, it is my school courses, homework and assignments, it's my financial plan and budget planner, it is the weekly and monthly reviews, my book tracker, my online resource system, my project system, all of my knowledge and second brain systems, my note management. I also recently created a cooking and meal planning system. Besides that, also my content management system and my workout tracking system. So let's get started. Okay, so what you see here is my dashboard. The very first thing that I want to show you here is my daily journal, which is right here. There's a few things about this daily journal that I really like. I use it to track my everyday, my hours slept, how well I did on my diet that day. It's not a diet per se, but more of a, did I eat healthy food? Did I treat myself well? I track my weight. I track which exercises I do. This is related to the workout tracker, that'll be later. And these are my habits that I try to track every day. And then lastly, I schedule my day. At the end of any day, I write which output I had, which is just a percentage-wise kind of measurement of how well I think I did that day. And if I have any improvement, what they could be. These will roll up into a weekly review, but let's just take a look at what the page looks like. This is all of the properties. It's kind of short, and this is just a very simple kind of journal log for how it works on a day-to-day. This daily journal is very near and dear to my heart. It's where I write down everything that I've done in a day, my thoughts and so on. It's also where I track my habits. One benefit is the reflection that it gives, and that's almost calming. Another really great benefit is that you keep track of the good days, I guess you could say, which just means that you'll be able to easily replicate those later on. Okay, the very next thing that I want to show you is how these things work into weekly and monthly reviews. So first, let's take a look at the weekly review. Okay, so the next thing I want to show you here is my weekly review template. It is where all of my days roll into. It's where I track things on a more micro scale. It's where I kind of measure my day-to-days, how I did the past week, and I reflect upon what needs to happen for the next week. It's very reflective, and it's also kind of planning a bit later on, but that'll come a bit later. You can see here there's the calendar, and there's the meal planning, and there's the work items, there's the organization, there's the financial review, there's the finisher. I am going to say that this one is very inspired by August Bradley's template for reviews, and that's what I started with, but I ended up really adapting this to my own needs. So therefore it looks kind of different and it has a lot more properties, as you can see here, and I also made some dividers and so on, but I'll show you more in depth later. Okay, so this is my monthly review template. This is pretty simple, also very much following August Bradley's template, but I did adapt this very much to my own needs as well. There's things that I didn't think fit very well to my own style, so I had to adapt that. The main things are, of course, the assessments, which is not unlike the weekly review, but more on a macro scale. There's also the goals and projects here, which is kind of the main part of the entire thing. Actually, it's mostly this one question right here, where I think about, well, is there anything else that I want to do? Is there anything I want to chase? Anything that I am not already chasing? All of this is just large questions that I'm asking myself, especially this financial plan. It's very much implicit, and I think that it's a good thing to keep these open, because there might be something in a month that you figure something out and it's not quite coverable by a template. So you want to keep it open, but still closed enough that it's structured, right? Okay, going back to the dashboard, something I really want to show you here is my projects. These projects are not unlike goals, but they're more structured. These projects are more like a collection of tasks, very much directed towards some kind of outcome or target. It's not very specific or measurable. There's just a number of steps that needs to be taken, right? These projects are more structured and they have a step-by-step plan for accomplishment. I'll show you exactly the template that I use. It's pretty simple and bare bones, but I really like this. So you can see right here, there's some progress based on which task you've completed and how many you want to complete. So progress bar and progress text. I use months to measure these projects because usually they're kind of long. For example, moving out, as you can see here in the background, it takes a bit of time. Also, I relate this to the pillars. This is also something from August Bradley. I really like the pillars. I had a hard time naming it something else, although I tried at some point. So I really like the name pillars. Also, there's the status. Just project status is pretty simple, and a relation to all of the tasks that are related to this project. As I said, it's a collection of tasks, so you want to make it so. You have to reason why you want to do some kind of project, so of course you want to explain why are you doing this. Next up, if you have any thoughts, any ideas as you go. And then there's also the project info. I like to put pages here, not just bullet points, but I think that bullet points are really great if you just want to have something kind of small and you just want to include really quickly. Here are the to-dos that you want to put in your project. It's a list of all of the to-dos that you have in some kind of project. So they're just collected here. When you open the project, you can see exactly what you have to do and so on, right? Okay, back on the dashboard here. This is not a dashboard thing per se, but it's a menu thing. If I just expand the menu right here, you can see that I have a page called Thoughts and Ideas. This is where I record something. If I am working on something right now, say making this video, then and I get a thought, I get an idea. I really want to record it. I want to save it for later because I think it might be able to help me later, but I don't want to act on it right now. I simply click this one button here, add a new page. I give the idea, I thought, some kind of title, explain it very shortly, maybe flesh it out down here in the body. Then I just say it's unsorted because I haven't taken any action or any kind of, haven't processed it yet. It's very simple and it's so powerful. It's helped me so much because I sometimes get ideas that I really just want to save, act on, something that I might forget if I don't write it down. Okay, something else really cool that I want to show you and that I use a lot is, first off, on the dashboard, I have my books tracker right here. This book tracker I'm very fond of because as you can see, there's the current page, there's the percentage done, also a progress bar, but let's just hop into the books page. This is a board, and I figured out how I can add books without actually doing anything. I can just, when I browse on the internet, I can just add books by clicking like 2 buttons that are added to this page. I'll show you how later when I explain this kind of template setup that I have. But there's the want to read list, there's the next up list, there's the current reading, and there's the read books. And the system is really neat because I think that if you go back here, I have the book year review. This is my library. It's where I track which books I read in a year, which my favorite book was. Let's just open this 2020 page right here. As you can see, there's about 50 books here so far. It's a little thing I added. It adds so far if you're in the current year. It's kind of a nifty thing. It's not important, but it's kind of fun. These books are ordered by your rating. So as you can see, there's a lot of books right here I've rated kind of well, and there's a few added I rated a bit less well. But you write what your favorite book was, and it'll come right here, and it'll appear, as you can see right here, for example, with Atomic Habits in 2019, right here. I think it's kind of cool because you get to see which books you read in a year. You can review, and structuring it this way, as you can see, if we just pick one book, maybe The Psychology of Money, I can add another year. I can read it again later. There's a lot of systems that don't allow that. So adding, maybe I read it 2 years in a row, something like that. I want to read books again. I don't want to be limited and I have to update it to the newest date. I want to see, well, I read a book this year, I read it again next year, for example, right? So I want to keep it to being open and as easy to use as possible. Another huge part of my day is my exercise. I track my exercises based on days, but I have this little workout tracker right here. So let's just make a new page. Here you can see there's a lot of properties, but that's because you want to do everything with this template. You can both do cardio, body weight exercise, you can do weight training. All of it works. If you click on run, it'll simply check out this and make it run or walk or whatever. Okay, just a little side note, something I did not catch while recording this video. I actually do have a lot of more functionality in the running part of the exercise tracker. I actually have an automated pace calculator and time display. So these are formulas that are pretty advanced, honestly, that calculate your pace and time based on distance and your inputs right here. But the most important feature to me, because I do a lot of weight training and a lot of bodyweight exercises, is this template right here. When this template is loaded, you can just simply add a new exercise. You can type in something, you can add the sets, the weight, the repetitions you did. It'll all come up into this box right here. It'll show you which exercises you did. It'll show you how much weight you lifted, and it'll show you which is just your total volume, right? And it'll show you how many reps you performed. And then when you add this to one of your days, it'll be rolled up into a week, which just means that you can keep track of all of your exercises that you did that week really easily under your review. Okay, the next page I want to show you is my school page. This page is very simple on the outside, but it's actually a bit more advanced on the underlying layers that I have. So it all is based on these databases right here. And then I simply link it to the pages, the actual lectures and classes that I have. I simply link to them right here. And this is the project because I attended a university that is project-based. And we have the current semester if there's any information that I want to store about the current semester. When I open one of these course pages, as you can see right here, I have all of the information. I have exam information, module contents, and goals, which is the goals for the course. I have all of these resources that I can easily access. I have an overview over the lectures, all of the assignments. So if we just open one real quick, you can see right here, this is how I store my notes, my lecture notes, my homework notes, and the exercises that we do for that lecture. I also have this attached to my 4-stage study system, which is the previous video. So I'll link to that in the description if you want to learn more. But these are connected to the stages. It's all very simple. This is how I use my school Notion template. Okay, next up is the financial plan. This one took some time to get right. I really wanted this to work really well so I would actually use it. You know how hard it is to track your budget more on a bit more fixed scale. You want to track everything, but it is very simple and intuitive on the outside, I hope. At least I feel that way, but there's a lot going on the inside. I can show you that exactly right here. When I open the entire page here, you can see there's a lot of properties, but they all just show on the outside page here, so you don't really have to go into these pages. Just showing right here, as you can see, this is the budget. And this planner actually allows me to set different budgets every month. So if my financial situation actually changes, I can set a new budget. And on the left side, right, you can see that there's check marks, and that's because I did not overspend that month in that category. It's pretty simple. It's the check mark while it's below this amount right here, and it's a cross once it's above that amount. But basically the gist of it is that you record some kind of income and then you record some expenses, all based on what you spend or earn money on, right? Okay, so we also have the knowledge base, the knowledge system. This is a very, very big topic for me. It's a very advanced topic, and it is a thing I'm working on very actively because I think it's very important to store and organize information in a very accessible way. It's about effectively storing and organizing this information so it is of the most use. And that's a really hard thing to do, which is why I'm working so actively on it. So once we open this page, you'll see that there's 3 pages right here. All of this below is just my notes, so it doesn't really matter. But my knowledge vault is important. I also have this course page right here, which is just where I track which courses I've taken. Then I have a resonated page. I'll dive a bit deeper into that, but that's where I mark something as resonated because it resonated with me. So I try to track them here. I can also always go back. The knowledge vault is really where all of the exciting things happen. This is kind of a knowledge base where I've assigned a knowledge scale, which is based on a point system. And that's basically just how fleshed out some system or some knowledge is. So, for example, my computer science and software engineering knowledge vault is very, very expanded upon. I have a lot of things about that. So it has a lot of points. You can see maybe cooking and not as much, which is kind of ironic, but that's how that is. But basically, what you use these pages for, now I'll select an empty page. You basically try to summarize and write notes and collect all of your information about a given topic so that it's much easier to revisit later, go back, check your notes on something. This is the current way that I'm doing it. I'm always improving it, so it might turn out differently. But I think this is a great way to do it, so that's how I'm doing it right now. A very big part of this knowledge system is my read later storage. You can see right here, and also readwise. I already explained both of those two in another video, actually 2 videos. The read later system is just a collection of everything that I've saved. I use extensions on Chrome to do that, and I also have the readwise, just because of the readwise application. And those 2 have been explained in another video. I did improve on some things since that video. I made this much more automatic. I made it such that you barely have to enter any information yourself. It's all kind of, you can just revisit things when you want to. I think that's really cool. But I will show you that once we get to that. Recently, I have gotten a lot into cooking. So I made this cooking zone page, which is where I store my knowledge. I plan meals. I store my recipes, and I have a database of ingredients that I use quite often. I also have a little spice page, which I kind of like. It's because I want to store which spices I like and which ones I don't. So I put those in that page. Here's a simple shopping list here that basically shows you which meals you're preparing for. So your ingredients are rolled into this table. It'll show you, well, you're preparing these meals, so you want to buy these ingredients. These are the ones that you're out of stock on. You don't have these. This meal planning page is pretty simple as well. Most of this was actually inspired by an official template that is on the Notion templates database, I guess you could say. So a lot of the credit goes to that. I have just started expanding upon this. My interest in cooking is quite new, a bit connected to the moving apartments. So this will be expanded upon in the future. And lastly, we have my content management system. This one has been an absolute game changer for me. As you can see, this is the video that I'm currently filming. Actually, I should go over here. And this has been a game changer for me because it makes it so much easier to manage what I'm doing, what I'm creating, what I want to create, a store of ideas. As you can see here, there's ideas, there's everything I'm doing. And all of these pages have their individual checklists. They have their own notes, research sections, quick links, and so on. It makes it so much easier to just schedule things. So basically, this has really helped me up my content game, make it much easier for me to actually release things, plan things, write research notes, and so on. Okay, this has been a brief overview of my Notion systems and pages. I hope there's something you saw that you liked, because if you did, I really encourage you to subscribe and like this video. You can turn on alerts so you'll be alerted when I upload new videos. I'm planning on releasing a video a week about me going through the systems that I mentioned in this video. It's just one at a time, very in-depth, very simple, very beginner-friendly. I already released a few of these templates, namely the workout tracker, the book notes template, and my online resource system. I'll put a link to the template page on my website in the description so you can find these very easily. Alright guys, this has taken me so long to build and fine-tune and just get everything completely right. I'll show you exactly how I did that as we progress in this series. If you want to get the whole template where I've set everything up for you, it's on my website. I'll link to it below in the description. All of these templates that are coming in this series will be available on the website too. I will explain every one of them. I will go through them in depth, so make sure you'll check the videos out when they are released. Besides this, I also have a few videos up on Notion already. If that's something that interests you, make sure to check the links in the description. I will link you to them. Thank you for watching. I will see you in the next one.